The Green Room at Lift Vancouver is brought to you by Cloud9 Cannabis Coaching. If you have suffered from anxiety, chronic pain, or depression, like I have, you know full well how debilitating it can be. Brady Sparrow, founder of Cloud9 Coaching, specializes in microdosing cannabis to help her clients lead more balanced lives. Whether you've been using cannabis your entire adult life or just now learning about this incredible plant, Brady's simple microdosing guide will help you find the perfect balance in just 1 month. Brady is about to host her first 30-day challenge called Find Your Cloud9 in 30 Dope Days. I'm doing it and you should too. So why not go over to cloud9coaching.com and join us. Be sure to use coupon code JACQUI, JACQUI, for a special Green Room discount.
What's going on, everybody? It's Les from Cannabis.Wiki. We are here at the 2.0 Lift&Co's Cannabis Business Conference and Expo. I have the president of CFAM, Gerald Major.
Yeah.
I have our cannabis social influencer, Jackie Childs.
Hey guys.
And
My friend Natasha Raey.
Hello.
Beautiful Natasha Raey.
hello, Natasha.
Vancouver is home
It is
now.
now. For the last 5 years, it was 2 weeks Toronto, 2 weeks Vancouver.
Wow.
Yes.
What do you do in the cannabis space?
So I've been in the industry for about 10 years now. I was one of the people who helped found Lift.
One of the original
Wow.
founding members
So
of
here,
Lift?
yes.
Wow.
So
Okay.
I've been around for a while, and then I am opening a retail store in West Kelowna, so we're fully licensed at the end of March. I'm involved with a bunch of different brands, a white labeling company, and I'm slowly starting to move my way into psychedelics and shrooms and nootropics.
Wow.
Yes.
That is the theme of the day.
It
Yeah,
is.
for sure.
Yes.
yeah.
The theme of the weekend, for sure. At Lift, we're talking
Oh,
a lot about
100%,
psychedelics. Are
yes.
you a patient? Are you a medical patient? Are you rec? Are you?
I would put myself in the wellness category.
Okay.
So with cannabis, I use cannabis, and I always say this for sleep and sex.
Okay.
For those two things,
Whoa.
where I
Sleep
find
and sex.
the most benefit. And then
Right.
I've been using shrooms more just for like creativity,
Yes.
and hopefully to get me off of SSRIs.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'd like
Explain SSRIs.
So I also have a clinic in Toronto, so healthcare is my actual background. So I have a primary healthcare clinic in Toronto. So SSRIs, everyone knows them as antidepressants. So I've been on antidepressants probably since I want to say 30, so the
Okay.
last, I won't give you the math.
I
but
did
the last
that.
few years.
Okay, like 25.
Just a minute. Just a minute.
I was like, wait a minute, I almost told you my age. You stop doing that after you turn 30. And so then I managed to get off all of my anti-anxiety medication. I had a massive problem with Xanax. So cannabis really helped me with that, but I've stayed on the SSRIs because they really are kind of like this terrible crutch.
Right.
And so I'm hoping that with psychedelics that I'll be able to wean off of them.
Right.
So that's my goal for this year.
That's
a
great
damn
way
straight
to
goal.
go.
So I've been microdosing not cannabis, shrooms
Right.
every 2 or 3 days or so, and it's
Good for
really
you.
helped.
That's
So we're definitely going to have to get you back in the green room later on to
Yes.
find out
when
how
you're
the
in
results
Toronto,
went.
come to us in the
Yeah,
and you
well,
can tell us about
I'm still
your...
in Toronto pretty often. I go back on the 20th. or the
Okay.
Because we'd
19th.
like to grow with this journey. It's as we
People
all
that are
have
willing
seen
to talk
today.
about
Right.
psychedelics.
Psychedelics have been a big topic today, for
Oh,
sure.
and it's interesting because everyone's like, "Oh, this is where cannabis needs to pivot," and I'm like, "Yes, I agree," but also like all of the growers need to understand that it's not as easy to grow psilocybin as it is.
Oh.
And it's not like I'm saying growing cannabis is easy, but
But it's so
mushrooms
different.
is a whole nother
So
world.
different,
Like
right.
it's so difficult.
yeah. Patient.
All right. So you're a healthcare professional.
I don't know if I'd consider myself a professional.
You have a
more-
clinic.
I have an MBA in healthcare, so I'm more on the administration operations side, but because I have like 9 family doctors who work for me and 2 naturopaths, the compounding pharmacy,
pick it
I
up.
just picked up all the lingo, but I'm not a clinician.
So I'm an ankylosing spondylitis guy, psoriatic arthritis,
Right.
14 different comorbidities.
My best friend has the first one that I can ever pronounce.
Ankylosing spondylitis, yeah.
Yes.
And I mean, the spondylitis group is, the spondyloarthritis group is really a very complicated autoimmune disease,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So I think it's fantastic that you're doing all the stuff that you're doing. You keep it fine-tuned to the ear, but you mentioned shrooms or psilocybin, and you started to talk about the creativity. Then you started to talk about your goal, which was
Get off antidepressants.
right. So talk about that
Okay.
and how you use, because all we're hearing right now is the creativity,
Right.
and I found power and energy and a little bit of freaky deaky in
Right.
mushrooms.
So, see, I didn't find the freaky deaky, and even
Yeah.
my partner, like he started microdosing as well with me, but like the first night that he microdosed, I took 3, or I took 2 and he took 3. And usually like sex every night. And that night he was like, I just don't feel like it. I was like, okay, you're not going to take this many.
No,
so for the
Wow.
it was
So
not
for him-
helpful. My
for
poor
him-
younger brother is here with me somewhere. I hope he's not listening.
So now then
I also had a lube company, so he's pretty used to this.
Okay.
Yeah.
your brother. Wow.
Now is that THC, CBD?
Yes, it was THC, CBD infused lube.
Wow.
We're gonna go back there.
Okay.
Go ahead, Gerald.
I'm flabbergasted. For once in my life, I'm speechless.
I'm also an evangelical Christian who's sober, so that throws people off too.
You're
No,
that.
that's cool. So explain to me why I'm feeling so much energy and recovery from psilocybin.
So I don't know the scientific effects. For me, it's been more anecdotal and hearing stories from people. So one of the things I've been hearing a lot about lately from someone I've been working with in the space is that he's actually found that people who are on antidepressants, it's essentially the same receptors that shrooms use
Like
as
try being
antidepressants.
depressed and anxious when you're kind of on psilocybin.
Yeah, well, and you can't be, but if you're on antidepressants, it almost like blocks the effect of them.
Right.
Like,
While I was on antidepressants, I tried mushrooms and it didn't do anything
yeah,
for me.
and that's what we're hearing over and over again. So I think this weaning off thing, like I'm already seeing a good effect from shrooms, but I feel like if I can wean off of the SSRIs, that effect will be even more pronounced for me, which is kind of what I want to feel.
Maybe I'm different.
Yeah, maybe. I mean,
An
that's the cool
SSRI,
thing about plant medicine.
mirtazapine.
Right, it's
right?
different
It's
for
personal
everyone.
to everyone. And I know
Yeah.
I might, like, everyone's going to be like, why is she using this example? But it's like your relationship with God. Like, it's different for everyone.
And don't
So
you
with
then
plant
find
medicine, it's
the
same
plant
thing.
medicine brings
Yeah.
you
I think that's
closer?
important to be said too.
Yeah.
But the plant medicines bring you closer to a natural, spiritual,
Of course.
right?
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
that spiritual piece that we've seen with cannabis, I think, is the exact same with shrooms. Like, I do yoga every night and I meditate a lot, and cannabis has really heightened that experience for me. So it'd be kind of cool to see if shrooms can do the same thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
one more,
you
please.
go knock
Patient
yourself out.
reported outcomes.
Yes.
Real world evidence. You said it's just anecdotal, but that's important for patients.
It is, and I mean, that's so again, my background, I have a degree in molecular biology and biochemistry with like 2 honors theses and then an MBA in healthcare. So I've been trained to be like, what's actual data and what's
Trained to kick
anecdotal?
ass is what she's
So
trained
I
to
think
do.
like this anecdotal data, once we have enough of a base of data, then it's not anecdotal anymore. But when I'm just hearing stories from people, I can't really report it as scientific data because they're just to me stories, which is scientific in a way, but I don't want someone to be like, you said this, and so that's why I say it's anecdotal for now. Did everyone sort of glaze over when I started talking about data? Come back.
Patients don't, and we certainly didn't.
Well,
No,
and so
it's
with
interesting.
one of the things with Lyft,
I was going to say, as
Lyft-
one of the founding members
well,
of
yeah, and
Lyft.
Lyft has one of the largest patient review databases in Canada. So again, can we say that's anecdotal? No, I think that's real data because it's coming from patients. But again, it goes back to the whole thing about plant medicine being a personal thing. So I was thinking to myself, like, I smoked this vape pen that I got from the Village Bloomery. It's a
Okay.
collab vape pen, and honestly, like, some of the best sex of my life over the last few nights
Really?
just because of this pen. But then I thought to myself, someone else might smoke it and just fall asleep. But that's all about the personal experience part of
Right.
it, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's a very individualized journey. Like all the different guests we've had today, they're saying it doesn't affect us all the same way, right?
Well,
like
yeah,
each
it's very
strain, you might
different.
like a certain strain, you might like a CBD, THC 1-to-1, you might like indica, sativa, whatever. Even though we're not going to use indica
Yeah, it's
and
sativa no more.
sativa.
Yes. But I think the medical community is opening up to that as well, where it's more about patient-centered care. So you as a patient, what's working for you and how can your doctor hold your hand throughout that process?
Right.
Versus your doctor being like, this is what you need to get better. Because really, how much they're making an educated guess.
Right.
It's a little bit more educated than ours, but it's still a guess.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure. So, where can our viewers
Whoa,
at home? Where can we?
whoa,
Oh no! Oh wow!
Slow your roll.
Wow! See, when a
Okay.
really pretty lady comes on, they keep
It's
going. Some
nothing
guys
to
are
do
like,
about
next.
that. Yes, she is a very pretty lady, but she mentioned something about lube. Okay, and in the past tense form. So what happened? What happened to the lube company?
So we have the lube company still. Our goal with
Oh, it's
it,
still around.
yeah, it's still around, but our
Okay.
goal is to sort of license it or bring it to a legal entity because we've been. So again, when I said I've been in the industry for 10 years, like you can do the math. That means I'm pre-legalization in the industry, and so my appetite for gray market, black market work in cannabis is still there, but I'd like to kind of transition it to a legal market as I dip
What
my...
about the stores you have opening up?
Yeah, so that's legal.
Okay.
Yeah, but as I dip my toes into shrooms, I only have an appetite for so much illegal business.
Right.
So it'd be nice if we can move the cannabis to the legal side of things. But the loop's an amazing product. Like we sort of market it as like a ritual. So like you use the vape, like you use the spray to get a little bit high, just to get you in the mood. Because for a lot of women can't orgasm because they don't feel relaxed.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so this helps you to relax and get out of your mind.
I can introduce you to my wife. She'll really like you.
I can do TED Talks everywhere.
That was going to be my next thing. Is that something that you do?
I do a lot of speaking, so and I'm working on a TV show right now. So just trying to get the education out there. But like I had a background modeling in my 20s, so I find that that's helped me be comfortable in front of the camera.
Yeah, it helps for sure.
Yeah, but I think education's important. Not everyone is comfortable talking about sex and cannabis and shrooms, but I am. So, and like you're the same way.
Yeah.
Like I don't have the guts to even post some of the pictures you post, but I'm like, you go, girl. And my pastor would be like, excuse me?
Pastor. No.
Well, they're big stigmatic issues.
They are. They're
very
stigmatic.
Maybe I should get a pastor.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll tell you some other stories some other days. We can't
In the green room. In the green room.
about that.
Yes, you have to come over to the green room.
We all are clearly patients in
Yes.
this community, and mental health is everywhere,
Yes.
right? And we are the faces of mental health.
We are.
Agreed.
We are the face of mental
This
health,
is
and
what
we
we
need to
look
be
like.
comfortable.
Agreed.
So we're agreeing as a community that on the psilocybin conversation, the fact that it is not legal, we're still going to talk about our uses of it.
Of course, and that's how we started with cannabis. Like this industry was built on the backs of criminals, people who were willing to take risks, and I think psilocybin is going to be the same way.
Yeehaw.
So, what can we expect in 2020 for you?
Well, my retail store in West Kelowna will be opening at the end of March, and just hopefully you'll see my show coming out. We're just working on some different pieces on that, and I'll just be floating around BC and less in Toronto.
Floating with your lubes.
I'm a floating with my lube.
Where can we find you on social media?
So my Instagram is nraey, that's Nraey, and I'm on Twitter as Natasha Raey. My last name's Raey. It's a different spelling.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to hit you up on the Instagram for sure. I want to follow the journey. I'm serious about it. I want to hear what's going on.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We are all on a journey.
We're all on a journey, we are.
And each one is as important as the other. So guys, you know where Cannabis Talk is always fresh and a little bit
Sticky.
keep it locked to Cannabis Wiki, the green room, and we're out.
Peace.
Bye.